Good evening, I'm Bo Williams and welcome to the 7. Let's get a look at the big 7 stories happening right now. And topping the list for us, a historic courthouse prepares to reopen 6 years after being devastated by fire. The fire at the Loudon County Courthouse broke out in April of 2019. It led to over $1 million in damage. And while the official cause of the fire was undetermined, the Loudon Fire Department says it most likely started due to electrical issues. After a number of setbacks over the years, including weather and the pandemic, repairs on the courthouse are now complete. Courts and offices will reopen in the building 1 week from today. Now, the courthouse is 153 years old and preserving it was a top priority.
We're the oldest or the second oldest courthouse in the state of Tennessee that still operates as a courthouse. We still have our Chancery Court, Circuit Court, and Criminal Court in that building, and it's just such a beautiful building as well. And there's so many memories from the community that's attached to it.
Loudon County Circuit Court offices will be closed Thursday and Friday while staff move back into the courthouse. Up next for you tonight, it has been 7 months since the remnants of Hurricane Helene hit East Tennessee. Hartford, one of the hardest hit areas in Cott County. Businesses still in the thick of the rebuilding process. Michelle Cuellar owns 3 small businesses in Hartford. All 3 were destroyed in the floods. Her Bean Sprout coffee shop has since reopened. However, her 2 other businesses have been stripped to the studs. Cuellar has credited volunteers and donations for helping her business in the recovery process. She tells us she has also now applied for a small business administration loan.
We applied for the SBA. That came back as a denied letter, and it was a glitch in the paperwork. And so instead of amending it, they made us reapply all over again. And by then we were behind 2 other natural disasters. And it's for months the SBA application just keeps saying under review. And it's been like that for months.
Small business owner went on to say she has tried to call and struggles reaching someone because the lines are busy. City of Morristown installing a new security system downtown after feedback from this year's citizen survey. People saying they often feel unsafe while shopping downtown. 3 new surveillance cameras are now up and running across the downtown area. Officials say it is a cost-effective way to help keep everyone safe. A dedicated downtown officer is also in place, and with the cameras, both officers and dispatchers can closely monitor the area. The system is web-based, providing live 24-hour surveillance from both the dispatch center and the patrol supervisor's office.
We've seen a real uptick in the amount of community events that we've had in recent years. I mentioned the prom, we have 5K runs, we have bluegrass festivals, we have car shows, all of those things downtown that are bringing more and more people into our downtown area. So we wanted to place those cameras, obviously where the people are. So we have one that's covering the farmers market in the downtown Green area, and we have 2 on Main Street facing in both directions.
Police Department wants everyone to feel safe and ensure that they continue to enjoy the events and businesses downtown. The department wants to be transparent about the cameras with the public. All right, new developments in a case out of Sevier County is next on our Big 7 list for you tonight. A judge has now dismissed a counterclaim against a woman whose husband was killed by law enforcement back in 2023. David Wright's widow, Vicki Wright, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Sevier County, the city of Sevierville, and the involved officers last year. Now, this new ruling stems from a countersuit that was filed by one of the officers involved in the exchange of gunfire that led to David Wright's death. Sergeant Bart Tyler, claiming the Wrights negligently allowed Daryl Higdon to stay in their home, despite knowing that he posed a risk to others. However, the court calling Tyler's efforts futile. A warrant previously obtained by 6 News shows Tyler knocked on the front door of a home on Holly Drive, and that after David Wright opened the door, Higdon was seen with an AR-15 style rifle. Now, the warrant states that Higdon refused to drop it and that Wright was killed during the exchange of gunfire. Up next on the Big 7 for you tonight, a notice filed by the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development shows U.S. Cellular intends now to lay off nearly 300 workers and to close several local stores. That notice shows affected locations are in Knoxville, Alcoa, Farragut, Madisonville, and Sevierville. It also says they will close in June. However, the notice also states that U.S. Cellular said it has made arrangements with T-Mobile to offer employment to a majority of affected workers. Local politics makes it into tonight's Big 7 list. Denzel Grant announcing that he will now run for Knoxville City Council. Grant is a familiar face in the community, and he has been in the headlines recently after the city of Knoxville decided to terminate his contract with Turn Up Knox. Now, Turn Up Knox is a local violence prevention nonprofit focused on youth outreach efforts. Grant is the group's executive director. He criticized the city's decision to terminate the contract. And now, as Grant makes his pitch to voters, he says his top priorities include violence prevention, affordable housing, and equity for East Knoxville. He has also appointed a treasurer for his campaign. Several Knoxville City Council races, including District 6, are on the ballot this year. Early voting, by the way, begins August 6th. Election Day follows on August 26th. And closing out tonight's Big 7 for you, local beekeepers are starting to, experience some severe honeybee colony losses, with some losing nearly their entire collections this year. A recent survey by National Honeybee Conservation Nonprofit Project says that commercial beekeepers have lost more than 60% of their colonies, and hobbyists have lost nearly 50% nationwide. Here in East Tennessee, one beekeeper is hoping to help address the problem by splitting his colonies and selling them to impacted keepers. Now, he tells us he considers himself lucky, only losing 2 colonies this year, but his community has been losing half or nearly all of their bees.
Greenville, Jefferson City, and Knoxville area, I've seen a lot of people that have lost, some of them as much as almost 100% of their hives. I know a lady that had 39 hives. She has lost 38 of them. So, I mean, a day in the life of a beekeeper for me is to try to help people like that.
He tells us this comes from the use of pesticides, cutting trees, and a specific mite that feeds on honeybees, but the actual cause of this steep decline is still being investigated. Nonprofits, colleges, U.S. Department of Agriculture are currently determining potential causes, including looking into chemical exposures to bees and environmental factors.